Now, in architecture, you cannot create form without proportion. You have to have some kind of proportion. A square form is a 1:1 proportion. A rectangular form can have various types of proportions, 1:1, 1:1.25, 1:1.5, 1:1.618. Now, apart from all these various proportions that we can have, the ancients narrowed down to one proportion which they called the golden ratio or the golden mean, and that is 1:1.618. And this proportion is what is found in nature. Now, everything in nature, especially the human body, as has been shown by Le Corbusier in his famous Le Modular, where he is showing a man with his hands stretched up, and there he shows how every part of the body is in the golden proportion or golden mean. And in his architecture, he applied this principle of the golden mean. And in ancient architecture, this was one of the best ways of representing the proportions of structures and spaces. And in fact, the Renaissance happened in Europe because of the rediscovery of the golden proportion. So this particular proportion, the golden mean or the golden proportion, is very critical to space. So this can be, you could say, as the second code of space.
То есть я правильно понимаю, что сама природа дает нам подсказки, как создавать, как творить пространство, в котором мы живем?
You see, everything in nature follows the two things. One is the Fibonacci series, and the other is a spiraling form. So since we are talking about form, we realize that form cannot be done without proportion. So that is the second code of space which we need to understand, the role of proportion. And this the ancients understood very well, that everything in nature is based on proportion. And this is something which is known right from ancient Egypt, through India, through China, through Europe, through South America. In all ancient traditions, they were aware that the human body was in the proportion of what we call the golden mean or the golden ratio. So this golden mean or golden ratio is what is 1:1.618, and that entire body proportion is on the golden ratio. Now, if your body is in the golden ratio and the space that surrounds you is also in that ratio, there is a synchronicity, if you may say, there is a harmony between the body and the space. And therefore, this concept of form is not sufficient. We have to add a second aspect to it, which is proportion. And therefore, there are many proportions. It's not only the golden proportion, but there are many other proportions. But when you look at nature, you find that nature works with golden proportion. And Le Corbusier was one of the rare architects who used this concept of golden proportion in everything that he designed.
Okay, thank you very much.